I'm going to be creating this stone-forged devilish troll while talking about an issue that's been plaguing my mind for the past 2 months. So I'm gonna be starting this sculpt in Blender and, take it from there as we go. So since my last video that I uploaded, not the Chun-Li one, but the one before that, which was titled It's Over, I was talking about an issue where I couldn't find a job in the industry since I got fired. Stuff like that is frustrating. It happens to the best of us. And you know what? Since then, I kept on looking for jobs. Most of them were senior positions, so I could already, forget about that. The few junior positions that I did find also didn't hire me. I got one art test from a company in the Netherlands. I went through that whole process. Eventually they ghosted me. So, stuff like that, it just, affected me quite heavily, I would say, in a negative way. Eventually I kind of completely gave up on the idea of finding a job in the gaming industry or even other industries that involve 3D character art. So I completely gave up on that and figured this is no longer for me. By the way, I'm using a bunch of alphas here to sculpt out half of his face, and his design will make sense in a second, because I saw a lot of environment art jobs, even for junior positions. So I figured, let me try my hand at that. I gave myself a challenge for a week, so exactly 7 days long, where I would create a modular game-ready environment asset pack that involved a lot of rocks, but also trees, palm trees, stuff like that. And I actually recorded a video for that, which I haven't released yet, because it just didn't feel right. But I feel like after this video, it's more appropriate to, to upload that one as well. For a week long, I was sculpting stylized rocks, and all I did was look up references of rocks and whatnot. And after I uploaded that project on my portfolio, nothing changed, as you can imagine. Companies didn't suddenly start hiring me because of that. Nothing changed whatsoever. And then I figured, okay, maybe I should get into the whole product renders that everyone does and start sending out cold DMs to people, which I did as well. And a cold DM is really just as lame and blunt as it sounds. There's no strategy behind it. You just send out a DM and you just hope for the best. And I did that consistently for a week. I gave myself a goal, like every day I have to send X amount of cold DMs to people. And some small companies did respond to me, but then they wouldn't go through with it, and stuff like that is also like, I need to make money, because I need to live. So at some point I gave up on that as well and went back to the one thing that I do know, which can definitely make me money, is VR chat commissions, because that's how I used to do it. And guess what? Even that, I don't know what changed, but somehow I used to make quite a good living with VR chat commissions. I would just show people my portfolio and they would immediately, most of them would DM me and be like, okay, let's get this commission working. Yeah, things have changed a lot. I mean, it has, because that's why I also quit. People started lowballing a lot more and all that. And by the way, what I'm doing here is I'm first painting the subdermis, which is the layer under the skin, and then paint the skin on top of it. And then here I'm masking out like the part where the skin will transition to rock. Yeah. Either way, things have changed a lot, because imagine I took a hiatus for like 2 years from VR chat commissions, and I come back to it and everything's changed, of course. That's how things go. So right now I'm in a weird place. Part of me is thinking I should still try to make money with VR chat, or try harder, because I can make a good living with it. And if not for that, then I'm gonna just have to face reality and actually move on and quit this whole 3D stuff and start picking up a real job, as people call it, but like in a grocery shop or in a restaurant, which is exactly the type of job I did not want to go for, because I have spent, and by now it feels like I've wasted pretty much 5 years of my life doing this stuff, learning all the tools and learning everything in this industry. And now I find out that the people that do get hired, they know the right people, or they're friends of their friends, and they can reference each other, and I don't know anyone. My networking skills are shit. Where do you even start with that shit? I try to be in these discords and talk to people and whatnot, and that goes alright, but it's never business related. You know what I mean? Or the same people are struggling with the same issues as I am. By the way, here I'm doing a little bit of look dev in Marmoset toolbag, which I've started using more and more. It's really an amazing tool for for baking is the best, I think, but then also for lighting your models, and you can even paint it. And at this point I figured the model needed a change, so I gave him a horn, and I was gonna paint the skin red like a devil, so I don't know, he kind of went from a dude that looks like half a troll, half a rock ogre, to this devilish, half devil, half rock troll. And you'll see, I'll actually export his high sculpt model to ZBrush, and then in ZBrush I detail him up even more, because while the rocky parts might look detailed, the human part of him is nowhere as detailed as it should be. It's missing pores, it's missing skin wrinkles, all that stuff. I would say my last hope, because I've left YouTube behind for quite a few months now. I stopped doing live streams, all that. I think YouTube is honestly, ideally, would be the best place to just make an income with YouTube. But that takes time, and I will put in the effort for as long as my flame is burning. But yeah, if I stop completely, you'll know why, even if I don't explain. But I want to do more, and also get back to live streams. And I wouldn't be necessarily streaming the same stuff as before. It would be more curated towards portfolio pieces, which I would say is more useful, although it might be less entertaining. But that's how it goes. But yeah, if all else fails, then I don't know, man. I don't mean to sound so depressing, or life just is really kicking my ass right now. Here you go, another look dev in Blender this time, and I added some additional detailed normal maps for that micro detail. But then after this I'm gonna add even more stuff. Here I'm adding a little particle system that if you've been watching the streams, I tend to do this a lot. But basically adding some objects scattered at random, in this case like the little devil fork, and there's my emitter, just a display sphere, and I hide it and just reference the forks. I will say this project I figured I haven't sculpted in 2 months, no characters at least, that it would, you know, take me longer to sculpt this, but turned out, sometimes, I may have said this before, but sometimes you need long breaks, and when you come back, you're even better at it, or you work more efficiently. For instance, before I would look down on using ZBrush. I was comfortable in Blender. The idea of using ZBrush gave me like the creeps, like, oh my god, the interface, all that. Despite me not being skilled enough in ZBrush, like knowing everything or the most important tools, I can still take a sculpt from Blender and bring it into ZBrush, and then, you know, it might not be the most efficient workflow, but you know, it's just temporarily. So here you go, this is in ZBrush. As you can tell, the mesh is incredibly detailed. It's sitting at 37 million polygons and counting, and I'm just adding a whole bunch of alphas and wrinkles to his lips. I'm just masking it out, and then, you know, manually just sculpting in those lip wrinkles. And yeah, preferably I would just export these straight out of ZBrush, because I can get a 16-bit 8K map, which are beautiful, but honestly, exporting a decimated version and bringing it into Marmoset Toolbag and baking all the maps worked pretty well with this project, so I'm not sure which one would be better. I guess at this point I'm just looking at what is the most efficient workflow. So here I go, and detailing his horn. I didn't really do much, really. Added a bunch of random scratches, and I didn't want to mess with the silhouette too much because I know it would affect the bake negatively. Same thing with the YouTube button. And yeah, there we go. After updating the bake and textures in Substance Painter, because all I did was just replace the bake maps, bring it back into Blender, and we get this pretty dang detailed creature. And this is in Eevee, by the way. Eevee Next in 4.2. Yeah, pretty cool, huh? And yeah, see you in the next one, guys.